the clash of the centres. Let's talk about that. And one thing about centres, you know, you still... A lot of positions these days, you don't get one-on-one battles. In centre, you do. And we have Stephen Crichton and Latrell Mitchell against Robert Toya and Gehamat Shibasaki. As far as dealing with or playing in high-pressure matches, the Queensland boys aren't in the same postcode.
No, it's pretty much chalk and cheese. I thought in game one that was probably a tactic that we didn't use, give them early ball, because they can beat anyone. Both, like, it was going to the left with Latrell, and then on the other side we've got Stevie Crichton. Whether the weather had something to do with it, but it is a huge ask to be making your debut in the centre position in a decider in Origin. So
yeah,
Gehamat has obviously impressed and handled it, but it is a big ask.
With Shibasaki, it's a great story. I mean, he debuted in 2018, Scully, and he went Broncos, Knights, Japanese rugby, Cowboys, back to the Broncos, and he only stayed a stint here and a stint there, and this year he's just come out of the ground. And it's a great story, but there's no doubt about it. Like, there's no heartfelt sentiment in rugby league. You're going to get out there, it is a risk.
It is quality, but also too, when you do look at, I say, Crichton and Latrell, they remind me of Mal Meninga and Gene Miles. You know,
spot on. Back
in the day, but also they have got to use them. They have got to use them more. They've got to use them early. And if I can remember 2 years ago, I can remember when Tom Tavojevic and Latrell was playing, and them two, they doubled up all the time.
Linking around, yeah.
And Queensland could not handle them. Yeah. Queensland could not handle them. So if New South Wales do this and do it very, very early, I reckon they will destroy it. They will destroy the back line of Queensland.
I don't know. I can't understand for the life of me, Scully, why teams don't do that more. You know, that you have these great players that stay in a 10-metre corridor. Surely smart players can see that coming over here, there's no threat. I'll just swing to the other side, create a mismatch.
Well, why do you want a beast of a player like Latrell and Crichton just stood there on 10 yards just doing nothing? They need to be used, don't they?
Yep,
and I can reassure, because I know that's what we used to do back in our day. And then also too, when the Australians, when they put Meninga and Miles opposite you, the two of them together, I can reassure you it was quite frightening.
Yeah,
You
went to the other side for a totally different reason.
I went up tying my shoelaces, I can reassure you. But Latrell and Crichton, New South Wales, if they are going to win this game on Wednesday, they need to be involved and involved very early.
Yeah, right. Benny, playing in decider, very, very special. You captained 2 deciders, and you've played in 3. First one, 1991. You lost that one. It was Wally Lewis's final game. I mean, geez, tough game to win.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, Wally was State of Origin football, wasn't he? And, you know, to go into a finale with his last game ever up there at Lang Park was almost going to be impossible. And, you know, and it was. It was impossible. We got beat. And the King reigned. He got up there on his throne and was very boisterous, and there he is, and deservingly so, one of the greatest of all times, and that's the best way to finish his career.
Now, 1992, you won it. Geez, you had a great side in 92.
92, great side, you know, and probably Laurie Daly being the most impressive amongst those players. He was just dynamite. His kicking game, his short play was really good, and his physical defence was just phenomenal. There's E.T. at his best in 92, I thought. And Gus Gould just sort of had that knack to get us all together. Gus, you know, told us stories before we went to bed, and you just go to bed with your eyes closed, dreaming about what...
Hang on.
Not dreaming about Gus.
Hang on, Benny.
Are you sure about that?
Benny.
Are you sure about that?
Benny, Gus wasn't in the room, was he?
Gus wasn't in the room. No.
Right, sorry. I just had visions of Gus like reading a book.
And 94, Benny, and through that period, like in this 94 decider, 27-12, I remember the next day speaking to Chief in a really important part of the game, and Chief, the game was in the balance. I think it was the game 2. The game was in the balance, and Laurie came out and scored a really important try to get us across the line. And I said to Chief, how did you feel? Did you feel like, because it felt like you were out of control? He said, no, I knew we'd win. And I said, how did you know you win? He said, because we had Laurie Daly.
Yeah.
And great captain.
Oh, great captain. And I remember from the very kick-off in 94, game 3 up there at Lang Park, or Suncorp Stadium, they call it today, Laurie Daly lined up Mal Meninga and absolutely smashed him in half. And I just thought, from that first tackle, there was no way in the world we're going to lose this one. And everyone just followed. That was the greatest leadership I've ever seen, other than Steve Mortimer in Game 2 at the Sydney Cricket Ground when we won the game, when we won the series for the very first time.
It's almost that 94 game. Laurie tells a story that if you go back to Laurie's first ever Origin game, he was up against Mal. Laurie had a shocker. Mal just, toyed with him and really bullied him. And he said to Gus afterwards, Gus asked him, he said, why? Why did you play that way? And he said, because Mal was like a father figure, I thought he'd take it easy on me. And he bullied me. Anyway, he said, 94, Gus said, it's your time. He said, when they come and in the game and they come and ask you, right, it's time for the captains to toss the coin, I want you to hide in the toilet, right? And no, Gus wasn't there, okay? So, no. He said...
I think he may have been.
And he said, hide in the toilet. He said, make Mal wait. So Laurie went in the toilet, waited for 5 minutes, and he went out there and he said Mal was furious. And he said it was just an example of how, the power had changed and got it done.